In Kosovo, though, fans poured onto the streets, seeing the abandoned match as a victory over Serbia.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 most controversial moments at the Euros.
I think he's given a penalty to France.
Heads. Italy win.
As you can see, the fighting has now escalated and it's moved off the old port into the surrounding street.
For this list, we're taking a look at infamous, obscene, and/or outrageous moments from the UEFA European Football Championship that fans still can't get over. Moments taking place during qualifier matches will also be included. What do you think is the most controversial moment in Euro history? Let us know in the comments. Number 10. Portuguese handball, Euro 2000. You're not a true sports fan until you've blamed the refs for costing your favorite team the game. At the Euro semi-finals in 2000, referee Günter Benko drew the ire of Portugal fans after he awarded France a penalty kick with just 3 minutes left in extra time.
Trezeguet, and down goes the keeper, can't hold it, Viltord into the side netting.
The reason for the controversy stems from the fact that Portuguese defender Abel Xavier blocked a would-be goal with his hand. While many claimed that it should have been a corner, the referees decided otherwise and awarded France a free kick. French star Zinedine Zidane netted the penalty shot, sending France to the finals and providing Portugal fans with a reason to complain about the refs for the rest of their lives.
It's Zidane. France are in the final. Portugal go out in the most dramatic of circumstances. Zidane, arm raised, he's on a lap of honour. You really have to feel for Portugal.
Number 9. Abandoned Serbia versus Albania Match, Euro 2016 qualifier. This is something you hate to see. During a qualifying match between Serbia and Albania, two countries with a long and hostile history, a Greater Albania flag, which represents a large portion of the Balkans within which many Albanians live, was flown over the pitch by a drone. This stirred up an already unruly crowd, with many in the stadium cheering for or against the stunt. Things reached a fever pitch when a Serbian player grabs the flag and tore it down.
That was enough to infuriate Serbs off and on the pitch.
This sparked an all-out brawl between the two sides, and the match was ultimately abandoned.
And the circumstances were such that we couldn't restart the match. You've all seen what happened. And I cannot comment on who's to blame or what happened.
This was far from the only reason for ending the game, as Serbian fans earlier on could be heard chanting death threats directed toward Albanians. Albania was retroactively awarded a 3-0 victory.
What's important is that we as a team wanted to continue the game, but after talks with UEFA, the Albanian team said that they were not physically and mentally able to play the game.
Number 8. BENDTNER'S underwear flash, Euro 2012. When compared to our last entry, this infamous moment from the Euro 2012 group stage seems downright silly. After scoring a goal against Portugal, Denmark forward Niklas Bendtner lifted his shirt to reveal a pair of green and white undies with the phrase "Paddy Power" written across the band. Paddy Power is an Irish bookmaker, and Bendtner received a €100,000 fine, roughly $170,000 in USD today, from UEFA for unauthorized sponsorship. He also received a one-match suspension. The ordeal probably didn't cause him too much stress, as Paddy Power paid him €200,000 for the stunt and covered the fine. Number 7. Mario Balotelli endures racism, Euro 2012. Speaking of the Euro 2012, a far more egregious incident took place at another game. During a match between Italy and Croatia, Italian striker Mario Balotelli, who is black, endured racial abuse from Croatian fans, with one going as far as to throw a banana onto the pitch. Incredibly, the fine levied against Croatia was less than the one given to Bendtner for flashing his undies. While these actions were condemned, this incident and others like it are unfortunately still commonplace in European football today.
So what would you tell the fans that come over to the stadium and have this kind of behavior? What message would you?
Support your team, support your players. and don't really be bothered about other player. Yes, it's normal. Maybe sometimes you say
there are insults to players.
You can say something against other players. Okay, it's normal, but not racist things.
Number 6. Italy versus USSR Coin Toss. Euro 1968. Euro 1968. Italy versus USSR in the semi-final. A hard-fought battle between two proud nations. At the end of regulation time, the score is tied at 0-0. How would this epic clash be decided? By a coin toss, of course! Back then, penalty shootouts had yet to be instituted as the default solution to a tie game. So teams literally flipped for it. Italian captain Giacinto Facchetti called tails, and the rest is history. Italy would go on to defeat Yugoslavia in the final to claim their first ever Euro victory. However, their infamous semi-final victory has since been described as an affront to sport. We're hard-pressed to disagree. Number 5. Ronald Koeman's obscene celebration. Euro 1988. When you win with class. This sentiment should be drilled into the heads of athletes the world over. Just ask former Dutch footballer and current Barcelona head coach Ronald Koeman. Koeman was on the Netherlands squad that won the 1988 European Football Championship. They got to the finals by defeating their rivals West Germany in the semis. It was a dramatic victory, and Koeman played a central role in the club's 2-1 comeback.
Will be Ronald Koeman, 1-1, a penalty apiece.
After the match was over, he swapped jerseys with a West German player and proceeded to wipe his backside with it. The act, which was caught on camera, escalated the already tense rivalry to new heights and made Koeman public enemy number 1 in the eyes of the Germans. Number 4. England versus Yugoslavia semi-final. Euro 1968. One of the most infamous games in Euro history, the 1968 semi-final between England and Yugoslavia was downright brutal. Just 3 minutes into the match, Yugoslavia's Dobrivoje Trivik hit English midfielder Alan Ball, causing an injury to his foot. It was so severe that Ball refused to take off his shoe for fear the swelling wouldn't allow him to put it back on. While the Trivik hit was unquestionably the inciting incident, it was far from the last, as physical play dominated the match. England enacted some revenge when midfielder Alan Mullery kicked Trivik, but it resulted in him becoming the first British player to ever get sent off during an international match. England went on to lose 1-0. Number 3. Russian and English hooligans. Euro 2016.
The final whistle was the cue for Russian fans to launch a determined assault on England supporters in the stadium, forcing them to scatter.
It may be called the beautiful game, but in 2016, it led to something much darker. At the 2016 Euro in France, England played Russia in the group stage, with the game ending in a tie. However, following the match's conclusion, a group of Russian fans attacked their English counterparts, causing multiple injuries and leaving 2 people in comas.
There were around 40,000 England fans in Marseille, and the majority were blameless. But police are working to identify more than 100 who were involved in disorder and ban them from travelling to the next World Cup, which will be staged in Russia.
One prosecutor later stated that roughly 150 Russians were well prepared for ultra-rapid, ultra-violent action.
They have a lot of training. They decided to act very quickly in Marseille, and that's maybe the reason you are asking this very legitimate question. Arrests were not possible.
A second attack later that day led to 36 arrests and 16 hospitalizations. English supporters had previously wreaked havoc at the 1980 Euros, in which they fought with police following a match with Belgium. Number 2. Spain banned from playing USSR. Euro 1960. At the 1960 Euro, Spain fielded one of its most talented teams, with many claiming they would win it all. However, at the time, Spain was ruled by right-wing dictator Francisco Franco, a man who refused to allow his fascist country to appear weak in the eyes of the world. So when Spain drew the USSR in the quarterfinal, controversy was bound to ensue. The USSR was communist, and Franco feared that a loss would cause people to think one political ideology was superior to the other. So he refused to let his countrymen play and forfeited the match. That's strength, all right. However, Spanish football fans got the last laugh, as the team would win the 1964 Euro by defeating the USSR in the final. Before we unveil our top pick, here are a few dishonorable mentions. Referee Clive Thomas ruins it for the Dutch by way of a controversial send-off. Czechoslovakia vs. Netherlands, Euro 1976. Graham Taylor takes Gary Lineker out of the game. Sweden vs. England, Euro 1992. A controversially awarded free kick allows Italy a replay against Yugoslavia, which they went on to win. Italy vs. Yugoslavia, Euro 1968. Fans throw flares onto the field. Italy vs. Croatia, Euro 2016 qualifier. Questionable calls hinder Spain, losing to England in the quarterfinals. England vs. Spain, Euro 1996.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Number 1. Sweden vs. Denmark match-fixing allegations, Euro 2004. Italy needed a lot to go their way in order for them to advance past the group stage at the 2004 Euro in Portugal. Going into the final round of games, Italy needed a win plus anything other than a draw higher than 1-1 between Sweden and Denmark. Well, Italy did their part by defeating Bulgaria 2-1, but wouldn't you know it, the Swedes and the Danes finished in a 2-2 tie. This eliminated Italy and infuriated their fan base. Why? Many believes that the Swedes and Danes conspired to achieve a 2-2 score so they'd both advance. While this has never been proven, it remains one of the most controversial matches in Euro history.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.